going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Black 1999, and I'm back with another video. So in this video today, we're discussing fighting games, and it's been some things on my mind that we want to talk about. So let's get started. So with the acquisition of Bethesda from Microsoft side, it basically showed the video game industry that if we really wanted to, we have the money to flex and just buy any developer we really want. So as far as this relates to fighting games, what would be the one developer that if they bought, it would be a huge get? And for me, it's obvious that developer is Capcom. I'm gonna tell you why. So Microsoft has been trying to get into the Japanese market for it seems like forever. But when you think Japanese market, you usually think Sony because Sony is a Japanese-based company. So it makes sense that if you're going to play your fighting games, most of the time it's going to be on a Sony console. That's what I think of when I think of fighting games in general. However, Microsoft has basically shown over the past couple weeks that if we really want to, we could really acquire any developer we want and just let them say, hey, go make your own game, do what you want. We're start away. We're just the financial backing behind it. So if they go out to Capcom, automatically you already know what that means. We get Street Fighter. So any future Street Fighters, and more importantly, the back catalog of Street Fighter games. So potentially we could see maybe, I know it's what you're thinking, there's two games that I really want, low-key, is Capcom versus SNK 2, but obviously the big one is a re-release of Marvel's Capcom 2. Because low-key, I'm not going front, I'm not a Sony fanboy, I'm not an Xbox fanboy. However, I feel that if Microsoft bought Capcom, and acquired Capcom, I feel we have a better shot at getting Marvel's Capcom 2 re-release. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not saying Sony wouldn't do it, but with Microsoft being pro-consumer, I just feel that if Microsoft buys them, I think we will have a better chance of getting that game finally out and open. So, if Microsoft did buy Capcom, what would be the fallout from that? Well, one, tournaments, in particular Evo. For the most part, majority of pretty much every fighting game outside of Killer Instinct and Super Smash Brothers, they are played on the PlayStation console. If you get Street Fighter on an Xbox Series X/S, automatically that shifts entirely because Xbox would be the home of fighting games. Now, you still want about Street Fighter. I know a lot of people might be down with Street Fighter or whatever, but you can't deny the power of the Street Fighter name. You say Street Fighter, I don't care what type, if you don't like Street Fighter or not. More than likely, you don't want to be left out of the loop because it's a brand new Street Fighter game. You're going to want to have that game because everybody's going to be playing it and everybody's going to be talking about it, and it's going to be at major events. So think of it like I said before, Evo. That's basically Xbox right there. Capcom Pro Tour. That's Xbox. Anything like Japan related with fighting games for like Street Fighter, that's Xbox. So that's why it could be a major deal because if a fighting game like Street Fighter comes to Xbox, then if you're Sony, you got to be thinking, okay, what are we going to do to counter that? Because don't get me wrong, I love SNK, but it doesn't really have the sway Street Fighter does. I'm sorry. And I love SNK games. I love King of Fighters, Art of Fighting. I love all that stuff. But when it comes to fighting games, you say Street Fighter, everybody knows that. Now, for us fighting game fans, you say King of Fighters, we already know. You know, Terry Bogard, Joe Higashi. We know all that stuff. Totally get it. But to like something like Tekken, Soul Calibur, Bandai Namco, Access, with the Guilty Gear, all that stuff. So fighting game fans, though, we get it. We know all these companies, whatever. But as far as I believe to the casual consumer, you say Capcom or Street Fighter, they automatically know it because Street Fighter is so huge. So just from just tournament aspects and just like the overall console, this generation of consoles, as far as like hardware, software sales, all that good stuff. I really believe if Microsoft really wants to go for it, just go all in Japan, Sega's not the play. It's Capcom. And in addition to that, not just for Street Fighter, you get Resident Evil 3, all the Resident Evil remakes, Monster Hunter, which is big in Japan, Mega Man, just all these crazy legacy characters that you would just get if you buy Capcom. And that right there, if that happens, we already know Xbox would be the home for fighting games. Because let's say let's say like I said for instance, so they do acquire Capcom and go after them. You'll have Killer Instinct, Bandai Namco. They're usually cross-platform games, so you more likely are going to get the next Tekken or whatever it's going to be called on there. You're more than likely going to get the next SNK, King of Fighters on there, and you'll have Street Fighter. So if you're a fighting game fan, it would be kind of hard for you to not buy the Xbox Series X or S, knowing that Street Fighter 6 is on there, and that's the only place you'll be able to play it. So it'll be pretty difficult to buy a PS5. Now, I'm still getting a PS5 for everything else, but if you're a fighting game fan, if Microsoft really just went in and bought Capcom, that's a tough sell. It's like, I love Sony, but that's a tough sell. You get Street Fighter 6 and all feature Capcom fighting games on there, and potentially re-releases of Marvel Capcom 2 and Capcom SNK. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that is a tough sell to do. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. And this is Black Manta 1989 signing out.